Welcome to the GTP. My name is Scott, where we explore all things manga, and in this video we're going to discuss a bit of a hot topic in the hobbies industry, and that is Cult of the New. So in this video we're going to discuss what is Cult of the New, how does it impact the world of manga, and what can we do about it. And in the comments below, I'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this hot topic, Cult of the New? So go ahead and relax and let's take a deep dive in. First, let's define what does Cult of the New mean. It's a term used to describe the obsession with the latest and newest releases, often at the expense of older, less popular titles. This phenomenon isn't unique to manga. It can be found in various forms of media such as movies, TV shows, tabletop games, and video games. Let's look at an example of Cult of the New when it comes to the hit series Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen, a relatively newer series that has gained massive popularity in a short amount of time. While it's undoubtedly a good manga, its success has overshadowed other titles that are just as good, if not better. Akira, Elusive Samurai. Akira, Elusive Samurai. Latest and greatest? Oldie but a goodie. Which one should I read next? 35th Anniversary Edition? This story's older than me. It started in 1982. Can it really be that great? But Elusive Samurai? This made the GTP Top 10 Best New Manga Releases for 2022. I wonder which story I should pick next. One of the positives of Cult of the New is that it allows for exposure and support for new and upcoming manga titles. This encourages creators to continue producing fresh and innovative content, and it gives readers a chance to discover and enjoy the latest works. Additionally, new manga series may be more inclusive and diverse in terms of representation of characters and stories, which reflects the evolving tastes and values of the audience. Instead of the majority of the series being action adventure like we had back in the day with Dragon Ball, we have a lot more options to choose from now, such as Blue Period, which explores the world of art, or a fantastic slice of life series I highly recommend, which would be on that side of Cult of the New, is Skip and Loafer. However, there are some negatives to this phenomenon. Newer manga titles can cause older series that are equally as deserving to often to be overlooked or even forgotten. Viz, for example, seems to have no problem pumping out new reprints of Chainsaw Man, but we had to wait over 2 years for older volumes of World Trigger and D. Gray Man to be reprinted, even though these are ongoing series. Not only is Chainsaw Man popular, but having the series easily accessible makes it easier for new fans to jump on board and enjoy the series. Slam Dunk is another series by Viz that was recently reprinted after having people wait years for certain volumes to be reprinted. Although I'm extremely grateful that Viz reprinted the series, it is still not a series as easily accessible. Several volumes are already out of stock and near impossible to find, making it much harder to allow potential new fans to experience the series for what is considered one of the greatest manga of all time. Publishers may overlook titles with past steady sales and rave reviews in favor of betting heavily on new releases, potentially leading to over-reliance on certain authors or genres at the expense of diversity. It also feels next to impossible that Viz will reprint Basara, which has an 8.4 ranking on MyAnimeList and is in the top 200 of best manga of all time. It feels as if Viz has forgotten the series, although the demand is there for a reprint. Finally, Cult of the New can result in a flavor of the month mentality, where fans move quickly from one popular series to the next without giving older titles a fair chance. This creates a culture of disposability, where manga are consumed and then quickly forgotten, rather than being savored and revisited over time. I'm also more likely to read a newer series than check out a well-known older title, which is actually hurting my experience from reading some of the best manga stories of all time. It's important to note that while it's understandable to be drawn to the newest and most popular titles, there are countless hidden gems such as Pluto, Girl's Last Tour, and Land of the Lustrous, to name a few, in the manga world that are equally deserving of your attention and support. By taking the time to explore and appreciate a variety of works, fans can help foster a diverse and inclusive manga community which values both new and old releases. So the biggest question is, what can we do about this? Where do we go from here? The biggest thing we can do is let our voice be known on what series we want to be brought over in English and be reprinted. Publishers are in the game of making money, and if there is profit to be had, they are more likely to publish a series that you have so desired. A recent article which I thought would be helpful, I'll link in the description below, from the Vice President of Viz. He shared this: Nana, one of our older series from Shoujo Beat, became a hit during COVID because of TikTok Book Talk. That series may never end, but a series by Aizawa, the creator, did before Nana, Neighborhood Story, is a completed series. 4 volumes only, but for the first time it's coming out in English, and that will start in December. That book talk had an influence of Nana being reprinted, and we're now getting another series by this creator, Neighborhood Stories. That is why I'm not giving up on series such as Basara from being reprinted, and neither should you. So let the publishers know what you want reprinted. How would publishers know what we want to see in print if we do not tell them? We can't assume that publishers know what it is we want to read. Do not underestimate the power of the manga community when together. I believe through the influence through email, social media, or even an old-fashioned letter writing campaign, or going to a con, you can let your voice be heard which series you'd like to see brought over in English or reprinted. Make it so publishers are so tired of the question being asked that when they take questions of the audience, they already know everyone's going to ask about that series. They already know that we want Kingdom, and we want them to address why they have chosen not to bring Kingdom over, even though there is profit to be had. I believe that because there is profit, there's a will, there's a way that some of the series that we have so wanted to see brought over to English or series be reprinted, that if enough people let them know, if enough people have their voices heard, eventually somebody will pick up the series and bring it over or reprint. A spokesperson for Kodansha shared at a con that people were constantly chanting "Blue Lock, Blue Lock." And sure enough, Kodansha heard those words and took it out of digital jail, and we now have physical releases of Blue Lock. 7 Seas answered the call when we cried out over and over again to see Tokyo Revengers brought over physically in English. This is why you see me constantly on Twitter asking Yen Press when we're going to see a restocking of Yumeko When They Cry. I'd rather have a publisher at least acknowledge there is a demand than be completely silent on the issue. I believe that all of us together can make a difference. They say you have not because you've asked not. So do not give up. Keep on asking. You never know what might happen. The biggest issue I think we're facing with Cult of the New, especially when it comes to manga, is not necessarily that we don't want to read older titles. I'm so glad when I do. I think the bigger issue at hand here is that some of these older series are just so difficult and just out of reach from receiving. If Slam Dunk was more easily accessible, I believe more people would jump on and enjoy that series, where instead, in some ways, it's better and easier to take the route of just grabbing Jujutsu Kaisen, because you know it's easily available, you know it's going to be reprinted, and you get to be able to talk about it with that community. But there is so much amazing manga out there, and I think the publishers should be doing some of these authors justice by bringing these series back, especially if there is a demand. Thank you for being part of this discussion on this hot topic, Cult of the New. And if you'd like to see more content like this, you've not done so already, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That helps others know about this community that we are building together. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.